More than $500 million worth of frozen food risks going to waste as receivers of collapsed refrigerated logistics group Scott's seek to clear the company's cold storage warehouses. 114,000 pallets of frozen food from Scott's 24 warehouses nationwide needs to be relocated, but alternative cold storage space is scarce, threatening more grocery shortages. Joining me now live is Dave Evans, General Manager of Logistics and Freight Broker Company, Freight People. Dave, appreciate you joining us this afternoon. Can you tell us firstly how much of overall freight is chilled or frozen?
Yes, good afternoon, Danica. Approximately 3% of the freight that goes through the logistics network is frozen or chilled, or another term would be temperature controlled.
So 3%, and we're now hearing that $500 million worth of frozen food now risks going to waste. Is that on the money in your view?
Yes, well, it's a small percentage, Danica. The reason why I guess this is getting a lot of attention from the public is that Scott's Refrigerated transport were a major play in the storage and distribution of frozen and chilled product that goes into our major grocery retailers. So what we're seeing at the moment is just a mad scramble to try and tap into other companies within that space in the cold and chilled area, just to try and get those pallets out of storage into other facilities and ensuring continuity of service into those supermarkets.
So it's had a flow-on effect, essentially, to the industry as a whole.
Yeah, it has. I guess when you're talking about that specialised equipment, there's only so much of that equipment available in Australia. And when you're losing, as you said, 114,000 pallets, and there's probably around about 500 trucks and about 1,000 trailers, that is quite a significant proportion of that cold and chilled industry, where we just don't have enough capacity to try and find homes for that storage of the freight, and obviously get that freight before it goes, will turn spoiled, into those major retailers.
So, okay, so there's issues there then. Does that mean that costs for industry has to increase to keep up with demand?
I think inevitably what we're seeing with the demise of Scott's is companies locking themselves into three-year terms. We've seen prices been locked away for a period of time. What we're seeing throughout the logistics industry is, particularly through 21 and 22, is about a 17.5% increase in terms of transport costs. If you're unable to pass those costs on to your customer, then it makes the trading conditions very, very difficult. And what we're seeing with Scott's is that they were just unable to sustain those increases. And I think what we'll see moving forward is that when these contracts are renegotiated with the major retailers, there has to be a cost increase passed on, which inevitably will flow on to the consumers.
Not good news then for consumers, particularly given the cost of living crisis as it is. What is the impact on food supply?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I guess it's all playing out at the moment, but what we're seeing is the freight industry has gone through a fair bit of turmoil throughout COVID, and I think the industry is well placed to deal with such an event. But inevitably, with the lack of storage capacity and lack of equipment, I think we will see some shortages on the shelves. But I don't think we'll see a revisiting of a toilet gate or of such. But I think consumers just need to be patient and be aware that those goods are in Australia. We just need to get them on the back of vehicles and get them into the supermarkets.
And what goods in particular are we talking about?
Yeah, we're talking about frozen and chilled, so that could be meat, dairy, it could be vegetables, and all those frozen products you're seeing on the shelves at the Coles and Woolies and IGAs and those.
So a difficult time for the industry. I mean, how long will it take, do you believe, to level out again?
Yeah, this is not I guess the short-term fix here will be to get those pallets into a safe storage facility, get those pallets and freight on the back of vehicles into those major retailers. But I think long-term, what we really need to do is have sell those assets finalised so we can get those drivers back on the road with the existing equipment and have access to those 24 warehouses that you indicated that are now closed.
Have you got any advice for consumers?
Yes, again, don't panic. I guess the logistics industry is very well placed to handle such a tragic event in terms of 1,500 people losing their jobs. There's a lot of work going on in the background with the major grocery retailers and with the transport union. We're very, very confident that there will be a short-term disruption, but long-term, no need to panic buy. There will be a steady continuity of those products going into your grocery retailers.